Hi, I'm Eric Dewey from the Socially Awkward Studios, Science and Beer, and Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, and you're listening to another proud presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Check out more shows at foureyedradio.com.
It's your good pal, Steve-O from the Four-Eye Radio Network. I'm here to talk to you about a wonderful designer we all know, Revenge Lover. Illustrates and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, please visit revengelover.com. And just do yourself a favor and tell them Steve-O sent you. I know it really doesn't count for anything, but, I mean, come on. Who are you gonna trust? You gonna trust somebody else? No, you're gonna trust me, Steve-O. Because, face it, I'm awesome.
Hey everybody, what's up? What's happening? How you doing? It's Kevin Elliot, Appropriately Inappropriate. Thanks for tuning in and listening for another week. Hope you guys had a good Christmas, good New Year's, good everything. We're pre-recording this, so I have no idea how my New Year's went, or my Christmas, to be honest, because it's before that. But guys, hope y'all had a good time with family, with friends, with everything. You were safe, you were good. If you were safe, you're still here listening. God bless you. I'm not religious, but I'll still bless the shit out of you. Thank you guys again for listening to everything that we do. We appreciate it. Go to foureyedradio.com and listen to all the other shows on the network, please. And go to iTunes and find Appropriately Inappropriate. Give it a 5-star rating. Give it a review. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Hope you guys got everything that you asked for and you wanted for the new year. You know what's weird? I always heard that when it hits 12 o'clock, you're supposed to be doing what you want to at least do or feel for that entire year. So it's like, how can I have sex and climax at 12 o'clock at the same exact time? So for me, it's like, how do I masturbate and climax at the same exact time? I'll just start at 11:59 and 35 seconds, and I got this. And every year's been killer. Anyways, guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am Kevin Elliot, because remember, the old man at Kevin Elliot won't give it to me still. That piece of shit. My guest today, Nancy's, by the way, she's still not here. She is nursing her child, who she just gave birth to. So what's up, Jax? How you doing, fella? Hope you're good. Hope Nan's family, the whole family's doing great, and hope you guys had a good Christmas and New Year's. I know you guys did. My guest today is a good friend of mine who I met like a few months ago. But he's still killer and a great fucking guy, and I love him, and I'm super stoked that he's here today because we have a lot of shit to talk about. It's going to be fun for you guys, so give it up for Eric Freedman. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How's it
How
going, man?
are ya?
Yeah, good to be here, dude. Thanks for having me.
That was my Bill Burr Boston accent.
Oh,
Was it
how are you?
terrible?
That was an old Jewish lady, I think. That's what sits in the back of my mind. If I don't know what I'm going for on an impression, I think it just goes to that
Just go to old
standard.
Jewish lady.
Yeah.
What does my mom sound like?
It's the first voice you hear, you know? It's
Totally.
just the back of your head.
Dude, right off the bat, promote anything and everything in your entire world that you ever wanted to promote for people.
Oh, whoa. I mean, this is happening in the new year, so obviously I have a much more luxurious career. I'm a famous actor. You may have seen me with Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks in whatever movie they've got coming out that I'm not in. You guys can follow me on any social media at Eric J. Freedman. That's Eric with a C, Freedman with 2 E's. You'll find it. I'm confident in your spelling. For those of you who didn't make it through the new year, sorry. It's a bummer.
It is a major bummer.
You know, I'd say better luck next year, but
Hope
I don't.
You're
5-star
reviewing. Up
Good
in
luck
the
to everyone who
heavens.
lost someone over the next week. This is.
That sucks.
I know, but it's kind of funny because it hasn't happened yet. But it will.
But it will.
But like a lot of people, there's like in the next week, a lot of people are
Someone
gonna
is
die.
ruining your holidays for the rest of your life.
That's
like,
a bummer.
Dude, huge bummer.
Like you were just talking about, what if like what you're doing when it hits midnight, it's what you want to do for the whole year. What if it's your best friend ODing or whatever? Like that
for
does
the rest
not
of your
start
life,
off a
you're
year.
like
Yeah.
every year. This is when Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. I shut you out. You're an ODer. I'm just kidding.
Hallmark must be the ones pushing the whole like you should be kissing at midnight then. Because then,
for sure.
Then you got February 14th coming up. You got Valentine's Day right after.
Dude, Valentine's Day kills me every year since I got divorced.
Really?
It's not, well, even when I was married, it sucked.
Yeah.
It's just like a holiday of like, I swear to God, I love you.
Yeah. It's my parents' anniversary.
No
and they're
way.
not, yeah, and they're not like super like lovey-dovey. I still don't know why they picked it. I think it's because my dad has a bad memory and they're like, you'll remember this. But it's always been looked at to me as like, oh, it's their anniversary, and then it's this day that a bunch of idiots hand out cards and candy and flowers to people. Sure.
Man, they fucked up a lot of their friends' Valentine's Days that year.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at your love. Well, ours is brand
Ours
new.
is so much better. But that was only that year, and then it's gotten progressively worse. Like it usually does. There's got to be very few marriages that just
married,
get better.
Nah, they're still married. That's the shit. That's the way it is. My parents are still married.
Yeah, but they're also like Jewish, and Jewish people don't like giving up. And
that's where my marriage went wrong. My ex-wife was not Jewish.
Yeah,
I wanted to fight for it. She was never there.
No. No, you gotta find someone on that same level as you. But, yeah.
Dude,
having a marriage and having a happy marriage is very different things, I think.
Do you have, first of all, where are you from originally?
I'm from Agora Hills, California originally.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Well,
that's where I'm from originally.
No.
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, swear to God. Yeah,
so
yeah,
how
swear
old?
to God. We moved out of there when I was like 2.
Oh.
But that's where, so I was born in
that's
Cedar
crazy,
Sinai,
though.
and then we lived in Agora Hills.
Okay.
No way.
Wow,
cool,
that's
dude.
pretty random because it's a small spot.
Let's share addresses after the show. We'll see if we live next door.
I can share mine right now. I don't live there anymore.
I don't remember what mine was.
Oh.
But our across the street neighbor was Tom Selleck, but it was so far back. He was the Marlboro Man back then. He wasn't like Magnum PI. It was before that.
Yeah, when it was like just being built up, there was a lot of dirt area and stuff still.
Yeah, Clay Matthews wasn't born yet. He's from there.
Oh, I went to school with Brian Matthews, his older brother.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Brian and I are the same age. We went to school since elementary school together. I watched their dad coach them in like Pee Wee.
Oh, that's not
these
fair.
little 6-year-olds just getting screamed at and like running around until they vomit and stuff. And it turned out well. You can't be too mad at them. So it happens.
Damn.
Yeah, there was a lot of people around there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was there until I was 15, and then I moved out to Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
And then I was in Phoenix for 10 years, and then I've been back in California now for 5.
No shit. So where in Phoenix, where did you live?
I just gave away my age to people who can do math.
Yes, slowly.
Where, what?
Where did you live in Phoenix?
Phoenix, I lived all over.
Did you go to, what high school?
I went to Barry Goldwater.
No
up
way.
In North Phoenix,
all right.
Yeah.
Randomly in my head, this is no bullshit. In my head earlier today, I was going through high school memories because I had nothing to do. I'm bored. Whatever. You think about the past.
Yeah.
And we played Barry Goldwater in basketball. I was a basketball player, and we beat them on a buzzer shot from 3, and I was the guy that hit the 3.
Nice.
But here's the thing. Here's the great night. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Here's the fucked up thing. I had no idea how much time was left in the game. I just happened to be wide open. They threw me the ball, and I made the shot.
Yeah.
And then the buzzer sounded, and I was like, oh, end of the third quarter? And they're like, oh, no, that's the game. And my coach was like, after the game, he's like, great shot by Kevin. Unbelievable. You have ice water through your veins. And out loud, in my head, and it came out of my mouth, I was like, literally didn't know how much time was left on the coach clock. Or the clock coach. Fucking idiot.
On the coach's clock.
And he was like, I could see in his face, he's like, oh, you're not as clutch as we thought. You just had no idea.
What's great is you didn't even know it was the fourth quarter.
No, dude,
you were like the slow kid on the bench. They're like, they put you in, and you're just like, oh, I got the ball.
Yeah.
Hey, it went in.
Nah, dude, yeah, it was like give the autistic kid the ball and let him hit a 3. Nah, I was fuck you. I was good.
Just not good with telling time.
No, terrible. I don't know. That was one of the weirdest games, man, because I was the team captain and I was a point guard. I knew like everything. I was super into basketball, but weirdly that game towards the end, I had no idea what quarter score anything was. Mm-hmm. And when the buzzer sounded, no bullshit, I was like, what just happened? Like, what is this a technical, like, third quarter ended? They're like, no, you won the game. Everyone's running up to me, give me 5s. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, I hit a 3. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Like, I've done it before. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Well, you made it still, so you won. And
I
That's
wouldn't
really
have
all
if
that
I knew what
matters.
was going on. If they're like, oh, this is the
You
game
would've
winner.
panicked?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'd have called timeout. We didn't have any left at Chris Webber this
Maybe
shit.
that's better than never tell the kids how much time's left. At least with high schoolers. Most of them can't take the pressure.
Dude, so what was life, I'm going to ask, what was life like coming from California to Arizona
Oh, it was
at
awful.
15?
It was awful.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hated life for a little while. I was able to find some really good friends somewhat quickly, but I just hated it. You know, I had lived in the same house my entire life, so it was a hard move for me. I left behind friends that I had known since I was like 5.
What high school feeds in at Agora Hills?
Agora High.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
That's where all the Matthews
I
went
left
and stuff. Yeah, so I was in 10th grade at Agora High and left there in the middle of the year.
Oh, shit.
So, like, it's the only
Not
good
even
thing
over the
about
summer?
it is I should have failed the first semester of Spanish 2, which isn't my fault. I had a Japanese Spanish teacher.
I took Japanese in high school. We have so many parallels.
I kind of did. It just,
How do you have a Japanese Spanish teacher?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering, and I couldn't understand words she was
It's her
saying.
third
so
language
there
and
was
she's
like
teaching it.
words that she was saying that I had learned the first year that I didn't know. That's what she was saying until I'd get something and could read it, and be like, "Oh, that's what you're saying. I can't understand you." So I had like a 67% in her class. I left just before finals, so they had to just sign off my grades at what it was. And she signed me off on a D instead of or she signed me off on a C instead of a D, which is what it should have been. And then I would have had to take that class again. But she said like the meanest, nicest thing to me with a smile on her face. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, you know, for giving me the next grade up. I can do math. I was 3% away. And she's like, no, you earned it. With like a smile on her face. I was like, don't ever tell me I earned a C. Like, you were super mediocre. Good job.
Dude, I would have taken that. So, this was stupid.
I was stoked.
My freshman year in high school, before we went into freshman year, I had a best friend, Rob, who I've talked about on this podcast before, I grew up with, and we were like, if we take, everyone's taking Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we take Japanese, which they offered at our high school, like, if we take that, look at how, it's going to look amazing on our college transcripts, right? So, like, we're going to do it. And we signed up. There was just enough people to make a class out of it.
That's awesome.
Now, our freshman year was the best year of Japanese ever. Our teacher couldn't speak English, and she didn't know how to teach.
Okay. So they just found a random Japanese person and were like, we're just going to put you in front of kids.
What was her name? No, I don't remember her name. Takako Smith, whatever. That was the second year. Freshman year was this lady, and she was so, I guess, Englishly stupid.
You too, at the moment.
Right?
It's close, though.
So she, like, every other day we'd have a quiz from what we learned the day before or whatever. And she would, at the end of the quiz, which she wouldn't watch us do anything, she'd just take out a piece of paper, number it 1 to 10, and here's the questions, but it was just one-word answers, and it was in Japanese. And then she'd pass it to the person next to you or in front of you, and we'll grade it in front of, like, right now,
that.
right?
That was my favorite grading
it was the best
system.
ever. But it had the first couple
Just hand the
classes,
blank
everyone
page
failed.
to your
'Cause,
friend?
yes, that's exactly what it was. So everyone got an A in the class. And she was like, oh, my God, everyone has learned so much. She got fired.
Yeah,
so
of course.
The
She's
second
a terrible
year,
teacher.
we go in, and we have no idea. We're like, dude, I can't wait for Japanese 2. We're going to crush this shit. And then we're done with our foreign language, and we got A's in Japanese. Dude, this lady, hardcore. She was Japanese, but she was Americanized more than me. And it was a nightmare. My parents listen to this podcast, and they're listening right now like, yeah, we had to get you a tutor.
Yeah.
You had to bust your ass. I got a D+ in order to pass.
And you don't know
she
Japanese
hated
still.
Me. She fucking hated me. The very first day, she says, we're only speaking Japanese from here on out. And we were like, we got to stop you, dude.
Yeah.
We didn't learn shit in Japanese 1.
I don't know what they told you about last year. She got fired.
Yeah.
She's not even
dude.
teaching students anymore. That's how bad she was.
She's back in Japan, so if you want to stay in America.
Gonna shape up, teach it. Oh, man. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, I took Spanish for a good reason. It was, I don't know if it still is now, but it was the next most spoken language in the country. You know,
I'm sure it is.
I should probably know, and especially on the
At
West
least for our
Coast
parts
and
of the
being
country,
near
it's
Mexico,
gotta
it's
be.
like, why would I not want to know how to speak that?
Yeah.
I see people speaking it. I should also be able to speak it. You go over to Europe and, you know, you meet people and they speak languages on all of the bordering countries because people come through and they can speak to them. Like, how is that not like that? That should be taught. That should be taught when you're a kid, when it's easier to learn a language.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
It should
Like-
be, for sure. But, you know, I'm so stubborn, I won't do it either. So I'm like,
Well,
I don't plan
and
to
yeah,
go to your
now
country.
it's right.
I'm a piece of shit. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, but you know what? Technology's catching up fast enough where I say you give it like 5 more years and your phone and everything will be able to translate at like speaking speed.
For sure, there's an app you just talk into and it translates.
They've done it with
immediately.
signs already where you can take a picture of a sign and it'll translate
No
the
way.
word on the sign. Yeah.
All right, here's the deal. Everybody's listening. There's a patent on it because we have the stamp date for this podcast. Eric, if there's
call.
not one where you talk into your phone and it translates immediately to the other person that speaks the language,
Yeah.
we're making the app.
I mean,
It's $1 billion.
there's
industry.
no way someone's not working on that
Fuck
or
that.
has already.
We just
There's
day stamped.
definitely
It's
some
over.
stuff. Yeah,
Don't
stamp
talk
it.
me out of this.
Oh yeah. Well, we've got a week right now, right, before this comes out. Do you even know how to do a patent
No
on
idea.
something or how it works?
No.
Or
Fuck no.
I don't even understand when it says patent.
I can
pending.
write something and put it on the guild so no one takes it for 2 years.
Yeah. Anytime someone asks me if something's copyrighted, I just say yes. Because if I say no, they might try and steal it. No one's ever gonna go look up a copyright.
No.
I don't. How do you look up a
Dude,
copyright?
unless they're serious about it, no. There's
Yeah.
no fucking way. Dude, so you've been overseas? Have you been overseas
Mm-hmm.
a lot? Like,
A decent amount, at least once a year.
Really?
For the past probably 5 years now.
no way.
Mm-hmm.
The only place I've been out of the country is Canada and Mexico. So never over oceans.
Yeah.
What's it like? Why? First of all, why, I guess, to go over there? And two, how fucking awesome and weird is it?
Yeah. I go over there because I work as a road manager, tour manager for bands.
Coolest thing ever.
Sublime
We're
with
gonna get-
Rome primarily.
We're going to get into that.
And they're the ones who have taken me overseas and filled up my passport book. Once
So
over, I had to
cool,
get
dude.
extra pages. I literally bought my passport like a month before they hired me. I was like, I'm going to go get a passport because I'm going out of the country. And within a month, I had the job with them. And within 3 or 4 months, we were hitting Germany. Which Germany, for a Jew, to
Little
be the
sketchy.
first time I go out of the country, too. I hadn't been to Canada or anything, or Mexico or anywhere. And they're like, going to Germany.
New
I'm
Mexico.
like, yeah. I hadn't been to New Mexico. I hadn't been to most places. And they're like, we're going to Germany. I'm like, oh. All right, this will be... Don't tell them my last name or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it's like there yet. I'll find out, I guess. I really like it. I mean, when you're on tour, you're in a place for 1 or 2 days. Maybe you have a day off there. So everything's really quick. You just get a taste of everything. Like that's the best. The best way of putting it is like you get a taste of everywhere, and you can find out where you'd want to go visit.
shit.
And you get to know everywhere a little bit. So. Like, I feel like I have a much better understanding of the world, getting to see things firsthand, but at the same time, like, someone who's gone backpacking through Europe has seen it more than I have.
Okay. So I was going to say we're going to get into it a little bit later, but I kind of want to do it now. First, how did you even get into the gig of road manager at all? Where did it start?
I was working out here. I was out in Arizona still, and I worked at the Marquee Theater. And I was working as a runner, which is basically like personal assistant to the band when they come through.
Every band?
Any band that would come through. I worked with a few other people, take turns doing it pretty much. And it was a small venue, so you worked very closely with the band. You drove them wherever they needed to go. You got their food, whatever errands they needed run during the day. Because essentially a band comes into town, they don't have vehicles to drive around in. So you are their like chauffeur almost to taking care of taking their guest list and turning it into the box office to, going and getting their lunch or whatever. So I ended up working as a runner for the band The Dirty Heads for 2 days, and I didn't even know who they were until they were coming to town, and I got picked up to do the gig. I was like, I've seen their name before. And then looked up who they were and whatnot. And then they came into town, and their manager came with them, and he also manages Sublime with Rome. He had told me I did a really good job at the end of it. I told him I was looking to go out on tour. I was like, I've never been out other than with my own band in a van playing drums.
Oh, you were in a
making
band?
No money. Yeah, and that's what I was doing at that time.
So that's where it kind of started.
So it started, my first tour was getting a bunch of my friends together. We were playing in a band called Ready Resist, and we helped book our own tour with other bands that we had met. It was a punk hardcore band, so like we just played people's houses, VFWs, wherever we could. And
What's
I mean,
a VFW?
The veteran war.
It's all right.
I forget what it stands for exactly now, but it's like a veterans like rec center type thing.
Okay.
So they're just like big open rooms usually, and you just play on the floor and set up a PA. It's just a place that is a big open room, and they'll usually let you rent it out for super cheap. So
what did you play in the band?
I played drums.
Okay.
And then I was also the guy who like helped get the van and helped book the shows and got our merch and helped get our merch designed. And
I feel like that's
like,
typically the drummer that does that in bands. Is that true?
I definitely have heard of, I don't know, I've
they
heard
have
it
the
both
most
ways.
shit.
I've heard it both ways. Where like drummers the one who doesn't do anything else, and I've heard it where a drummer is like the dad of the band and takes care of everything, and I definitely was, which is what led into me being able to do the other gig that I do now. So I had gone on tour with them, and I loved it. I was like, I really want to go on tour. I had known that for a while. I was like, I want to go on tour. I had tried to get people to go on for, I was already doing Tomorrow's Nobody, which is my comedy group, and we've done cartoons, sketch comedy, all that sort of stuff since I was 15. And I was trying to get like,
for that long?
Yeah. Wow. And I've been trying to get like people to go on the road, and I was like, we'll show cartoons and we'll do sketch comedy stuff and do whatever. I hadn't done stand up yet, so I was like, whatever, they know the four of us will go do all that stuff. I couldn't really get anyone to. But I knew I wanted to go on tour. Went on tour with that band, loved it. When I got back, I was like, I want to go on tour more. I got to figure that out.
Let me stop you real quick. By on tour, what do you mean? Like, where did you go? What was the whole process?
We went all the way from Phoenix up through Denver, up into Iowa, around the East Coast through New York, and back down around.
Okay, cool.
We went everywhere. We did a 3-week tour. Yeah.
3 weeks in most of the country.
Oh yeah, the driving was insane.
Holy shit.
I mean, we didn't hit the South. We didn't really hit. We hit Arkansas. I think that was furthest south. We hit the tip of Texas. Amarillo.
Yeah.
We hit Amarillo, that very tip right there before coming into like Tucson and back home. So, I mean, we didn't hit everywhere, but we hit through everywhere. We drove through everywhere. And then we played anywhere people would let us.
How shitty are those rides, man? Was it just
Awful.
a van?
Van with no trailer because we couldn't afford a trailer. None of us knew how to drive a trailer.
You and I talked about that last night. Like, dude, the van drives are the worst.
Oh yeah. So like we had it packed up. It was just the 5 of us. We packed up. We took out the 2 back benches, packed up gear. You lay the base cab down and throw a pillow on it. Someone can sleep there. You have another bench. Someone can sleep there. One more bench, and then we took out the front bench and left just like pillows and blankets, and people could sleep there, and then the 2 front seats.
Oh, for just the drivers and somebody to make sure the other guy was awake.
Right, and me and our guitarist, my buddy Andrew, we did most of the driving just because we didn't trust anyone else driving the van.
Good call.
It was we did it over the end of December through January, and it was one of the worst storms in 10 years. None of us had been out of the West Coast. None of us had driven in
so
snow.
You don't know how to drive in it?
Nope. It was I fishtailed the van like 3 times. I did it once by accident. Everyone flipped out. And then for some reason, I decided I'm going to do it on purpose the next time just to freak everyone out and realize I still don't have control of the van. So we spun around and I was like, I won't do that again. Yeah, there were some brutal drives. And you'd drive overnight. Luckily, I mean, small show, so we'd set up at 4:30, 5:30 in the afternoon or whatever.
And then just bail right after and take
either bail right after, or we'd go sleep at someone's house on the floor.
Like someone you'd meet?
Yeah,
That's
promoter
comedy
or
style.
whoever it was,
Yeah.
exactly, whoever would let us. And at one point there was 3 bands with us, so there was like 20 of us.
Oh shit!
And all of us stayed in like an apartment one day where there was like, it was like a 2-room apartment. There's just sleeping bags filling all the floor space.
You do what you gotta do,
And it was
man.
a blast. And then someone always has to stay in the van to make sure someone doesn't steal it.
Oh yeah, I never even thought of that until you just said it.
Oh, and that part sucks because I'm
Could
like,
you
what do you
imagine?
want me to do if someone breaks in? I'm like, I'm gonna fight. I'm just waking up. I'm gonna fight them.
Yeah,
But
right.
one of the other bands that was with us, they're from Missouri, and they always had a gun. So
Oh, there you go.
I was like,
You
that's
gotta wake
my
'em up.
van partner.
Our vans are chained together.
Yeah, dibs on dude with the gun.
Yeah, if you're taking this one, you're getting shot because that one's got the gun.
It's like the worst version game
Wow,
show.
man. Was like I don't. It's weird the whole thing of like athlete to comedian to actor to band member. You know what I mean? It's like all this kind of entertainment parallel where everyone wants to be the other, but you
Right.
can't. You pick your lane, and that's what you kind of choose. But you're both. I mean, you were in a band and you're a comedian. I guess, and this is probably a question for later in the episode, but whatever. I'm asking it now. I guess, is one more fun than the other? How different is it compared?
They're all very different. I guess they overlap in some way. So when I got picked up, I told the band's manager I was looking to go out on tour. I knew that I wasn't going to make enough money over that summer to pay my rent. So I was like, I got to figure something out. And
Working the regular gig.
working the regular gig,
Okay.
there just wasn't enough shows out here, and my band was going to go on tour. So that screws me over because I was going to take 2 months off and then come back, and there was going to be like 5 shows, and I wasn't going to be able to make enough to make rent. That's on me. I could have obviously stayed, but I didn't want to. And then the job that I got offered, I ended up having to cancel my band's tour anyways. And that was the hard part. I was basically given the decision, are you going to keep working in your band, or are you going to move over here? I'm going to pay you real money to go out on the road with one of your favorite bands growing up. So, I talked to my band. We had never really thought we were going to do it permanently. Our singer was just about to move anyways, so it kind of just worked out well. I knew that wasn't my career path, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go do this as a job, and then I can focus the rest of my time on comedy. So they offered me a production assistant job, and then I moved in and worked with the manager, the band's manager, as his assistant for a while, went back out on the road, and then I just worked my way up over the years. It's been 5.5 years.
When you say you could do this and then you work on your comedy, at that point, was it because you wanted to be a stand-up, or was it the comedy and the aspect of, working on these like cartoons and sketches and whatnot?
At that time, I was just writing. So I've been writing since I was 15, and I've always written stuff that I called stand-up. I'd have a folder on my desktop called stand-up, and I'd have notebooks that's like, okay, this is stand-up, this is a sketch, this is a show, this is a movie. Like, I wrote everything, but I didn't know how to get into stand-up out here. And so, like the first time I ever went and tried stand-up, I was 18, and I went to the Last Comic Standing auditions
For your first ever
at
time?
Tempe Improv.
Fuck yeah.
And had no idea what I was doing. Like, I practiced in front of my friends in my parents' living room with a microphone that wasn't plugged in.
Yeah.
And I was like, my first time of like, I gotta know how to hold a fucking microphone.
Hell
And
yeah.
I gotta try speaking to people. And it didn't go well. I waited in line for 12 hours talking to like real comics from LA who were like, yeah, I've been doing this like 5 years. Fuck all these people coming in here after like 2 months thinking they can do this. I was like, yeah, fuck those people. I was like, get me out of here. And then I got up there finally after 12 hours. You get a minute and a half, 3 minutes, whatever. They'll stop you early if they want to. I got probably a minute or so in. And one of them, they do good cop, bad cop. One of them was like, no, like, get out of here. Another one's like, you got jokes, like, you got to work on this. And I was like, all right, I'll accept that because I've just been writing. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing on a stage.
Do you remember what you told?
A little bit.
Don't be bashful, dude. If you remember, tell it.
I don't know it word for word or anything. I remember it a little bit, and I have it on my computer. Like, it exists still. Yes. There's recordings of me. I have some friends who are nice enough. Actually, my buddy George, he goes by Maddox. He's an online writer and personality and everything. A New York Times bestseller now, but he was nice enough. Yeah. He's been writing online since like 97, 98 or whatever. He's he's big on there, and he's an amazing writer. And he was the biggest writer and comedian person I knew and looked up to and whatnot, who I was like, I can send him my stuff and he'll at least tell me. And so I was sending him what I was going to be trying as the audition, and he at least gave me some notes and pushed me away from some worse ideas. But they were like, it was like trying to give notes to someone who wasn't giving you good material in the first place. You're like, I don't want to just tell you everything sucks. Dude,
I was like, that's cool though. That's good to have in your corner, at least, especially for the first time.
Yeah. So that was cool. I know there was a rape joke in there. I'm sure of that. I don't know what it was. Also, it was right around the time Dick Cheney had shot the dude in the face with the shotgun, and there was a joke about that, but I have no idea what it is anymore. But I know that was in there. And the only reason I remember there's a rape joke in there is because I know there's a file on my computer called Sodomy and Rapists. And that's probably the funniest part of it.
And there's only one little file in the folder.
Yeah, and I know what time it's come from. Yeah, exactly. I know what time it's from. Like, I know that's... it's cringe.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's cringeworthy.
So let's get into, I want to do this a little bit chronologically, but I want to get into the band stuff too, so you start off where you're like, I want to go on the road, I want to do this manager thing on the road, and you work as an assistant with a guy, but what happens from there?
So I just started working with him more and more. I really liked being out on the road. I worked in retail for a long time as an assistant manager and as a manager.
Fitch?
Luckily not, but next door
Hollister.
at PacSun.
PacSun's cool shit.
Vans was the last one I did, which was the coolest, but also super shady to work for. They fired me. I won they tried to take away my unemployment insurance. I won that. I got that.
You took them to court?
No. Well, they took me to a phone call court. I had to talk to a judge and my old district manager. I don't know. Apparently that's a thing.
I pray to God I get phone call jury duty.
I got an email or I got a letter that was like, you got to call in on this day for. It was like a summons. They're contesting your unemployment. I was like, what? I already got all my I already got it. I stopped it already. I'm working again. Now they're okay. So I called and did that. The judge was like, no, obviously he's getting it. They were pissed, but I got my unemployment. I got 2 weeks paid vacation, and I got my sick leave, which I was only trying to take a week off to go tour with my band, and they didn't want to let me. It was time I had off. They didn't want to let me because it was near back to school time. So they came in and fired me for the dumbest reason they could find. I got all that time off, and I used it to go on tour with my band.
Yeah, dude.
And they still paid for it on top of paying unemployment.
Yeah.
So they physically were paying me to go tour.
Awesome.
So I was like, I won on that one.
Is that how unemployment works?
Unemployment?
The company pays?
Oh, no, it's totally illegal to go and, not illegal, I should say, but you're supposed to be looking for a job while you're on unemployment.
Okay. But the company that you used to work for pays for your unemployment till you find
They pay
something?
for part of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with I don't know if it's any job, but certain ones, definitely a corporate job. So that's a corporation. Any corporation that fires you, they pay for some percentage of your unemployment.
All right.
And so they contested it because they didn't want to pay for it. I was like, but you guys fired me. That's exactly what it's there for.
Yeah, fuck you.
I've been paying into it for years. Yeah, exactly. So that was the biggest fuck you. It was like, I'm going on tour still, and you guys are paying
and you're
for
paying
it.
me.
Oh, and now I have a rep over at Vans who just sends me free Vans stuff.
Fucking awesome, dude.
I'm like, I won.
Fuck, I can't wait
that.
to get deeper into this shit. It's so cool.
So I won with that. But working, managing retail, all that sort of shit, kind of gave me some of the know-how to be able to do it out on the road. Because I have to do paperwork stuff. I have to do new hire paperwork shit. I have to have employees, essentially, that I oversee everything. So that stuff was just kind of came naturally once I was on the road. But I got to be out with people I enjoyed being around. You basically go and party afterwards each night. There's just alcohol and girls around. Not quite in the way that they show it back in the 70s and 80s. That was when it was insane. But there's still some fun nights. And overall, at the end of the day, I'm working in music, and I'm working with a band I enjoy being around. I'm working with people that I love being around, that are my friends at home, and making better money than working retail. And I get to go see the world, which I wanted to do. I wanted to travel.
And this was with your band?
And no, this is with
this
is with Sublime. Yeah.
Okay.
With my band was a blast too, and we were making nothing. We made just enough money to pay for gas.
Yeah?
And that was still
that would just get you to the next spot.
But that's why I knew I really liked touring, because I was like, I'm willing to sleep on people's floor, barely have enough money to eat, get up and play for anywhere from 5 to 100 people, whoever showed up, just barely make it by, and I still enjoyed that. I was like, this is something I love.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was... Jesus, I can't talk. This was with Sublime. Not with the original band. When it first started, how does that? I guess. Look, you start working on the road or whatever. You're this road manager but it's a major band. It's not like you're starting off with.
Oh yeah.
A tiny band. You're in your own, but now you're a road manager for this major fucking band.
Well, I didn't start off as road manager. I started off as production assistant, which was assistant to the tour manager, so I had someone telling me what to do at least. Okay. I didn't have to just know everything, but literally I got onto my first day of tour. We had some rehearsal days, so I got to meet everyone and start to know what was going to happen, but I had no idea what to expect. So we got out onto the road, and I was honest with the tour manager, I was honest with the band's manager and everything. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but tell me and I will learn. I'm a fast learner. But I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So, we got out, and the first day, I was just running around so much. I barely had a chance to eat or do anything because I just didn't know what I needed to do or exactly how it worked. So I was just making sure everything was done. I took, in the production room it was a local production room and the touring production room, and there was a shower in there, and I took a shower while the band was on stage, and I went in, and I had this really hot girl who was working there too in the local production hold my radio, and I was like, if someone calls me on that, you're gonna have to come let me know. And within 45 seconds of taking a shower, I get a knock. I was just like, shit. I jumped out, literally jumped back in my clothes and was back on it
to
working.
Do what?
I don't even remember what they called for, but whatever it was, I had to go. Our tour manager a lot of times has worked front of house, which is the one who mixes the band. That's a very common thing. They work front of house is where they have the mixing board and are mixing the audio.
Like a DJ?
No, but they're mixing all the levels of all the different mics you see on stage.
Engineer?
Yeah, except way more complicated.
Yeah, I'm sure. Fuck yeah.
Like a podcast.
There's a huge board.
Yeah,
in front
podcast engineers volume up, volume down. There's a little more to it. But tour managers a lot of times do that, and so ours was, and so if the band needed something or whatever while they were on stage, I had to go do it and get it, and there was no one else to do that. So someone was calling me. In hindsight, now that I know the job, I could have just been tell them to fuck off for a second, and I'll be there in 3 minutes. But I had no idea, and I didn't want to lose the job. But maybe that's what
got you to the position you're in now, right?
It has helped. I've worked my ass off and just done everything, whether or not it was part of my job title, because I never knew what my job title was.
What's the weirdest or craziest thing that you got asked to do at this point?
There was a girl who was backstage who asked me, well, she didn't ask. Someone wanted her to get naked, so she, for some reason, decided that she'd get naked if I got naked. So she's like, I'll get naked if he gets naked, and just pointed to me. I still have my walkie-talkie on and whatnot. And so I got naked. Yeah.
Oh, dude, no way.
Yeah, I stripped down like instantly to my boxers without even thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I want to see her naked too. Down to my boxers. She did the same thing down to just her underwear, and then I hesitated because I'm in a room full of like 30 people. All the bands who are on tour with us are there. Like, there's a lot of people around, and I was just like, and then one of the guys from the band came and just pulled down my boxers, and I was like, all right, yeah, I should have done that quicker anyways. I was like, fair enough. And I was like, I gotta get back to work now. I still have shit I'm doing. Can I go?
How unfortunate, dude. She just picks you randomly, and you're like, all right, here you go, guys.
And that was the first girl I ever made out with on tour.
No way.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. Who did she sleep with before she made out with you?
No one. She didn't sleep with me.
Oh, bummer.
I didn't know what I was doing yet.
She was naked in front of everybody. How soon into the tour or any of this?
No, she stopped at her panties. She didn't.
Oh, she didn't even go? Fuck.
No.
You got the pants for no reason.
I got the panties, yeah.
Bummer.
Well, but it could have been my fault. Like, maybe if I had just completely stripped down without anything and just been like, hands up.
All right, when you got your boxers pulled down, did you pull them up quick?
No, I didn't pull them up.
You just left
cupped.
it?
I left for a second, cupped myself.
Whatever, man.
And,
She cheaped out.
And
Fuck
blushed.
you if you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Send Eric a photo.
She's got
you
kids
owe him a
and
photo.
Stuff. And
You saw the C-section
since
scar.
married.
You're like, I get it. So how early on did that happen? Pretty quick?
Oh, that was like a week into tour.
Oh, shit. So you're like, dude, I'm all into this.
It was like my first weekend tour, yeah. But when it happened, I was like, I want a raise, and I got one.
Immediately, they're like, fuck it, we don't pay them.
And then I was like, I love this job. Like, this is the best thing in the world.
Dude, so how does it go from, like, a production guy or whatever, I don't know what to call it, and then all of a sudden, you're their road manager, like, you're their guy.
It wasn't all of a sudden. Like I said, it's been 5.5 years, so.
Oh, it has?
Yeah. So I've been with them for a long time, basically since their first summer tour. So it's been working closely with their manager and him showing me what he wants for the band so that he can feel safe when he's gone of, like, I know that you'll take care of what I want you to, or you'll call me if there's a problem, and it's that sort of stuff. And then I know the band very well, too. And I know all of the crew as well very well because most of them have been with us for a long time.
I think that's great to have.
It's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and again, I'm not a musician at all, but just as a comic, if I were to go on the road and it was the same people for 5 years, I know that show is going to go exactly the way I want it to be planned.
Well, I mean, and I know you hear about comedy tours the same way I do and whatnot. And I mean, I know it from talking to comedians, but it's a much lonelier life on the road as a comic. On tour with a band, it can be. I have some friends who tour with, like, older rock bands and stuff where they're just one of 100 employees, you know, and they kind of hang out by themselves or maybe have a couple people on the tour they can hang out with. It's not the same environment that I'm used to. I'm in a very lucky situation where crew, band, everyone is family, basically, and everyone watches out for each other. Everyone has a good time. Everyone goes and has a drink together. Everyone's telling stories and, you know, just fucking around and has a good time. And you're like, oh, we're away from home, but I'm with my best friends.
Yeah, so you're not. You're
not.
You're with family. You're never away from home.
No, you never feel away.
Oh, that's rad, man. At what point in doing all of this did it start to feel like that for you?
Pretty quickly, because within the first tour, their manager had asked me to come work for him. And then when I stopped working for him, because I lived with him too, when I stopped working for him, I moved out of the house. He made sure, he's like, I don't want you to have to move back home. I want you to get to stay here. He let me stay in the band's warehouse. Like, he's like, whatever you need, you can come still over here. I didn't like staying in the warehouse. It was really weird.
Bed and stuff?
I got a bed and put one in there. He's like, you can do whatever you want. You can put in a shower, you know, like
That's creepy as shit.
have
How
the warehouse.
big was the warehouse?
But yeah, it was creepy. It's a big warehouse, and it has like an office. It has like an office in front.
I'm just thinking of Costco.
Well, okay, so it's that, but then it has a large size office in the front that has carpet and all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't too bad, but it was super weird. I was like, I feel like I'm on crazy drugs and I'm not. Like, I need to get out of here.
How long were you there for?
I only stayed there probably a couple weeks, if that. And then we were hitting the road anyways. So then I started staying with some friends. I stayed on my buddy's couch out in Van Nuys, and then I stayed on Rome's couch out in Orange County. He's like, dude, you don't have to stay there. Like, you can come crash over here. And so I started doing that. And since we were touring so much, like, in between tours, I could kind of bounce around between couches and not completely outstay my welcome. And I did that for 2 years.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. So I want to know, first of all, I guess everybody knows Sublime. It was anybody. Even if you don't even listen to music, you know who Sublime is.
Yeah, you'll hear a song and recognize it.
Yeah, but Sublime with Rome means what?
The best way I can explain it, for one, the family who owns the name, which is Bradley's widow and his dad, had a little battle in the beginning. But ultimately, the way it is now, because there's not as much fighting for the last several years, they've all been working as a team, but essentially it's two separate companies. So different people own the rights to Sublime, where like that's Eric and Bud, the other two original members, still getting paid for stuff, then the family, and it's different management and different lawyers and different everything involved in that entity on the business side. So they're the only ones who get paid through that, so then they had to have essentially another name for another corporation.
Okay.
So that's that's the best way I can explain it from what I've seen. I'm not part of any of that inner working, so I don't I'm not involved in it. But that's from what I've seen. That's what makes sense in my mind.
Sure. So, all right, we talked about you toured with your band in a van. Now you're touring with Sublime with Rome on a bus, and it's a million times better.
Yes and no. I don't want to. Here's the best way I can put it. Like, as you get into bigger and bigger touring, it's like living in a crappy house versus living in a really nice house in a nice neighborhood. You have more, you have more protection from the outside world in a way. Like when you're in a van, like I said, someone has to sleep in the van to make sure someone doesn't steal it because we're parked on the street. The bus is a lot more protected, and it's being driven by a person who just drives, and there's beds to sleep in, and if we're parked somewhere, it's backstage at a venue and whatnot. So, like, it gets a little nicer, but fun-wise and, like, enjoyment-wise, I've had some of the best times, even with this band, on just, like, smaller shows we've done, or taking Rome's solo band out, and that's done smaller at smaller clubs that are, like, 1,500 to 3,000 people or so. Like,
that's a
those
smaller
are fun.
club?
Yeah.
As a comic,
yeah,
like, what theater was that?
But, right. those are all over. But it's part of it's who you're with and how much you enjoy being out. Because also when you get into the bigger tour, you go from working your 4-hour day in a van to working a 16-hour day. It gets a lot busier.
So what is in a 16-hour day, and don't recap the entire day,
I'm not
but what does it kind of take for that 16 hours? What are you running around doing the whole day?
I mean, you're setting up the show. So you go into a show, you got to set up sound, lights, the instruments, everything.
So you show up to a venue, and you're you're immediately out of the bus, like, all right, let's get going. We got to get everything set up?
Yeah, most of the time. So, like, for me in the morning, I'm getting our runner now, which is what I used to do, but I'm getting in touch with them, getting them started on any shopping we need, making sure we have food, that sort of stuff.
That's awesome.
And like I said, it gets...
Who pays for that?
Well, the venue. It's all through the venue or the band, depending on who it is. But most of it's on a rider. Riders get really fun when you're a big band. That's this is awesome. And I get to help write riders now,
dude,
which is really cool. I can't wait to write mine.
I know you put something in. Don't fuck around.
I don't have anything crazy. I have on occasion tried to get people to bring us a puppy. And I even write in there, I'm like, we're not keeping the puppy, but if someone works here and has like a cool puppy that they want to bring in that we can play with for the day, it will make everyone super stoked.
Dude, that's awesome. That is so great.
But
has anyone shown up with it?
We've had a couple people bring in puppies.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to bring their puppy to work?
That's so true.
And they're going to get to go hang out with the band because the band's going to play with the puppy too. So they're like, oh, yeah, sure.
That's great.
But no, I don't put anything too crazy. I keep it pretty professional. I get a lot of booze and stuff, and I'll get the booze I want, but I drink everything, so it's what everyone else wants to drink too.
So it just says alcohol.
So it just says, yeah, booze.
Alcohol times 12, and then here's what everybody else
have
wants.
Lots of booze. No, I don't put on too much, but we get like, on the nice shows we have catering, things like that. So those are easier days. On a day that we don't have catering, I've got to put in an order for lunch, an order for dinner, and I have to really help take care of people a little bit more. But those shows are also, there's just less to do in general.
Also, I guess you've been with them for so long that it's more of a friendship, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and you've said a family too. So where you're like, all right, if I have to order lunch, I'm just like, guys, what do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of being super professional where it's like, holy shit, what do I order for these guys? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
No, I just go talk to yeah, and for the most part, I know what they eat anyways and whatnot, like band and crew.
Yeah, that's awesome.
With us, so I have a weird good memory for that sort of stuff.
That's what makes you fucking great at it.
Yeah, it's helpful. And a good memory is helpful for stand-up too. So it's like it's still building a muscle that's the same.
Yeah.
There's parts of it that get stressful for me because I am more on the like I want to write, I want to do stand-up and that sort of stuff. So every once in a while, almost every long summer tour, there's a day that's like a breakdown for me.
Yeah.
And then it goes right back to being fine.
We're going to get into the stand-up because I'm stoked to talk to you about it, but I want at least one or two stories from the road.
They're in the stand-up.
We'll get into stories of that too.
Yeah.
But even our listeners, I know, are like, all right, you're on the road with this. You're in a band, road managing. You're in this shit. Like a couple of weird, cool, interesting. It doesn't matter, funny, whatever stories.
Yeah.
And we talked before. You're like, dude, there's so many. I don't know what to do.
There are.
And I was like, if I name a city, would that spark
that's a kind of fun game. Because with my stand up, like I tell stories. I never say what I do for work. Because for one, that's going to end up taking up a good chunk of my act to talk about it, and I don't think it's important. But I do say, like, I was in this city, I was in that city, and go back and forth, and people always look at me like, why were you in all of these cities?
Whatever, dude, doesn't matter. And actually, comedy-wise, that's perfect. Don't ever bring up the shit while you're there.
It's not important.
No, it's not important at all. No one needs to know that you're this thing with Sublime, with Rome. You're a comic. Yeah. You're you. They're getting to know you.
Yeah, exactly. And I have stories, and that's where my stories come from.
Wherever you are, this thing happened to you.
Yeah.
And you're telling that story. And there's no reason why you're fucking there. Who cares? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's awesome that you do that. You shouldn't have to tell people why you're there. Fuck them. Mm-hmm. If they care that much, get the fuck out of a comedy club.
Listen to the podcast. Research.
The first city, no bullshit, that came to my head was Indianapolis. I don't know why.
Indianapolis.
Yeah. So if you have one from there,
okay,
cool.
I have a slight comedy story, I guess.
Perfect.
We were doing Carb Day at the Indy 500.
Hold on. The actual race Indy 500?
The day before.
Or University of Indiana Indy 500?
No, the real Indy 500.
Okay. For people that don't know, University of Indiana does this thing called Indy 500 where all the fraternities and sororities hold a massive party for a week, and it's the greatest week ever in the world.
I want to go do that.
Dude, it's
played
unfucking believable.
We've played university out in Indiana, too. I forget which
Bloomington?
one.
I mean,
it might have been Bloomington. Yeah, because the band's manager is from Indiana.
All right.
So we've done some really cool stuff out there. But we did Carb Day, which is, I think it's the day before. It might be 2 days before. Whatever. We played it with Jimmy Buffett.
No way.
Which was interesting.
So
we met Jimmy Buffett.
That's listening is shitting in his pants right now. He's a massive fan.
He was a nice dude. And you never know what to expect from some of those people. But from what I've seen, like any of the massive people I've met, I can only say something nice about them. Like they've all been super cool and relaxed and just.
Do you find
chill.
that professionally nice or genuinely nice?
Genuinely nice.
All right, cool.
Genuinely just like, because especially now you don't make it to the top by being an asshole. You just don't. And if you are, you hear about.
You make it to a certain point of being an asshole. Yeah.
And then eventually you just get kicked off the mountain because they're like, "Fuck you, man."
And
like,
typically that asshole wasn't an asshole until something.
Right.
They got to a point where they thought there was like, "Oh, this is the top,"
Yeah.
and it's not, dickhead.
Yeah.
And everybody finds out you're a piece of shit. But I'm glad that it's genuine because there is that professional asshole that you and I both know where you meet someone and it's like, oh, I just need to put this face on and say, oh, yeah, pleasure to meet you. I remember you. And it's like, nah, you're being a dick.
Yeah, and you'll see him rolling down the backside of the mountain in a couple of years. But so we were at the Indy 500 and or the carb day for it, and huge show, tons of people out there, and fucking Larry the Cable Guy was hosting the show.
Which, first of all, everybody listening tells you that's how much money they're putting into this thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
he doesn't come cheap,
Jimmy Buffett,
man.
Larry Cable Guy, Sublime with Rome, and I think there was a couple other bands on it too. But yeah, so he was hosting. I didn't get to meet him. A few of the guys did, and they said that he was fine. He seemed like
he's a great guy,
a nice dude.
Yeah,
but like he took his character off to talk to them.
Yeah, Dan Whitney.
Yeah, but he stopped being Larry.
Yeah, Dan Whitney's his real name.
Larry's an asshole.
So Dan Whitney, really cool fucking guy.
Yeah.
And Larry, he was not a great comic. And he did this character, Larry the Cable Guy.
You go look at his 80s material, and he's in a suit and tie. And, like, talking normal.
Larry the Cable Guy just happened to stick. Mm-hmm. And he was like, all right, I guess I'll just do this character. Yeah. And he makes $30 million a year doing
He's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah. He's nothing like that fucking guy.
But I got to watch a moment because I've hated Larry the Cable Guy since I was a child. Knowing it's a character, because I don't care, because to the middle of the country, it's not a character, it's a real person, and they look at him like fucking Jesus.
Yes.
Like, it's The Onion. It's satire, but to the people that don't get satire, it's horrible rhetoric. Like, it's awful. It's awful for their minds. So I've hated him for a long time, not personally, but his character. So he's introducing the band. They already came out on stage, and he would not shut the fuck up. He just kept talking. So they just started playing over him. And he got so mad, he turned around and was like, what the fuck? And he, like, was walking back and, like, threw the mic, and my buddy got it on film. And you just see him throw the mic down and walk back towards him. And that was an enjoyable moment for me because I didn't like him.
Dude, that's great.
But like I said, once you get to know a lot of those people, then you're like, all right, you're cool. I'm unfortunately, but I didn't get to know him that day. Only other people did, so I still don't like him.
What if I say the state of Florida? Because that state's fucked up.
There's so much. How many? I've been all over Florida. Florida is one of the craziest places ever. Always. Nothing. I've never gone to Florida, and there's not a story. And I've been to North and South Miami.
Give me
to
one.
Fucking Tampa.
One. I know, right? Now go through the Rolodex of trying to find one.
Oh, there's so many. Say I have a 3 tattooed on my leg because of Florida. I'm gonna leave that one there. Oh, I've got a story. I've got a great one. So we were staying in a hotel for 2 nights because we were doing 2 nights at the same venue at Janice Landing in not Tampa.
Jacksonville?
No, it's right over around there. I'll think of it. That's not important. Look up Janice Landing. You'll find out where it is, and you can tell me. So we're doing Janice Landing, and we're there for 2 nights. So we can essentially go out the first night and hang out and drink and have fun, and we don't have to be back to work until like 4 p.m. the next day because we're all set up for the show. So we went out. We had some fun. We went to a club that was like upstairs or next door or whatever, where the owner's like, yeah, come through and this and that. First, I messed up a chance I had, or I'm told I had, with the production girl at the venue, who's so hot, who I'm friends with. I don't think she'll listen to this, but if she does, what's up? You know who you are. She's insanely hot. And super awesome. So like she was coming to meet me at the club, and I was drunk and week, and I didn't know she was gonna actually come meet me. So a couple of the guys were talking to a few other girls that were hanging out with us, and one of them just came and sat down on my lap and started making out with me. This is my first tour still, my first summer.
No way.
So I don't know how to handle this yet. I wasn't the cool guy in school getting laid all the time or anything. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a girl sitting on my lap who's cute, fucking with her tongue down my throat. This is fun. So she got there, and I was like freak dancing with the girl, I guess, on stage. I blacked out this night. But I'm told by our security guard that that's what happened. The next day, he's like, you messed up. I was like, what did I do? And he's like, she came and saw you and gave you just a death stare. And I was like, oh, I fucked up so bad. But then that girl came back to the bus, and I was hanging out with her and some other girls. Everyone leaves. The part of the story I want to get to is I went back into my room, pretty much blackout drunk, like walking by the person at the front desk back into my room. I slept walk as a kid. I used to sleepwalk. I've since stopped, but I guess it happened again. I got up in the middle of the night, walked out of my room, and which was right next to the emergency exit, and I walked out the emergency exit in my boxers, and then the siren went off, and that woke me up, and I was like, oh shit, and I was like trying to get my door, and it was locked, and I didn't have a key, and I was just in my boxers, and with the alarm going off, and in my boxers, I had to walk down to the front desk and ask for a new room key. I had no idea, nothing. I was like, and still drunk. It's like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, whatever. I'm just like, I need a room key in my locked out. And she made me a room key. She luckily had just seen me like an hour before, walk to my room, very wasted.
At least you're in your boxers again, man.
Yeah,
always in your boxers.
Always in my boxers. That would be tour for me. Always in my boxers.
Okay, so as we're recording this, my son is in Kansas right now.
Okay.
And by the time this comes out, he's back home. I've hugged him, I kissed him. I can't wait to see him. Anything in Kansas?
Kansas, the state, or Kansas City?
Yeah, because Kansas City's in Missouri, which is weird as shit.
Yeah, I've been there too. There's stories.
Either one.
Kansas State. There was this we played this really weird festival in the dirt.
First of all, let me give you props for me just shouting anything out, and you're like, all right. And in 5 seconds, you're like, here's another.
This is 6 years on the road for me. Kansas, I guess I could do too. I think we were just back there. I think it was Kansas. We just played a Indian casino place out there. But we were out there the first time we were out there. I just remember this juggalo girl giving it. It was she blew one of the dudes in. It was like Twisted or someone who played with us, some juggalo band. Some juggalo girl went and blew one of the members.
What's juggalo?
Juggalo, the clown face paint. ICP is whatever. Yeah, they're the head of it, and so their group of people.
Oh, okay. So they have branches off.
Yeah, they have a whole music group. So they have other bands, and Twisted is one of them. I think it was Twisted, and I might even be wrong. But this girl came back and blew one of those dudes, and then I found out later from one of our guys, not in the band, but just one of the other dudes who was on tour with us, of oh yeah, I got head for that girl, and I knew that she had just blown the other guy, so you got seconds. So that was kind of funny because when someone
being a parent, it hurts my heart to know that someone's daughter was doing shit like that.
Oh, she was just trash though.
Thank God I have a son.
She was awful. If he meets her one day, she'd probably take care of him.
No, if he's like, I met this 50-year-old chick.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, hold on. Where? Where did you meet her?
Was her face painted like a stupid clown?
Yeah. I'm painting her face. I'm sending it to Eric.
Did she smell slightly like meth and disappointment?
Shit.
Yeah. And then recently we were at a casino out there, and we got really drunk and went some girl from who worked at that casino who wanted to hang out took us to another casino because she can't hang out at the one she works at. And the casino she took us to was the smallest nothing casino I've ever been to.
It was a bar with a slot machine.
The bar was smaller than this room that we're in right now, and just slot machines. And in this city, there's no taxis, there's no Ubers, there's nothing around. So I'm like talking to the guy at the front. I was like, can you get us a cab? And they're like, yeah, it's going to be like an hour or something like that. I was like, oh, fuck.
You walk outside, it's the Oregon Trail.
Oh, my God. That's exactly what it looked like. Tumbleweeds. Yeah. You find a bowl and hop on it and hope it makes it across the water.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Trust your eyes.
Trip over a stick, break your ankle, and just stay there and die. Like, you just might as well. But it was so bad that I was having drinks, and I was drunk too, and I was talking to the bartender, and it was just like, you get off soon? Like, when do you get off? And he's like, I'm off in like 20, 30 minutes or whatever. I was like, if we're still here, will you please drive us back to the hotel down the street? And he was
That's
like, yeah.
happened to me before.
And then we found someone else. I don't know who. We got in someone's car, and they drove us back.
Yes. Dude, I had the same thing happen to me one night, man, where it was like no cabs were coming anywhere. We were stuck. And we asked the guys that were working the bar, we were like, can we please get a ride? Like, we need, if you don't give us a ride, we're literally at your front door until tomorrow.
Like, I'll pay you. I don't know if it's not that.
And everyone was like, nah, man, sorry. I'm like, you're going in some direction from here. Take us to that direction.
Is there a bus there?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Just not here. And finally, someone was like, fuck it, I'll take you back to your hotel. It's like, dude, what? We're never coming back to your shithole, dude. Yeah. Fuck you guys. What is, and we'll stop doing states, we'll get into comedy after this. What, like, best story, weirdest, craziest, most interesting, whatever. The first thing that comes to your head, story on the road from all this. What do you got?
Weirdest, craziest? That's
so
hard.
The first one, like the first thing that hits your head.
There isn't. My head just gets hit with like 9,000 different voices.
That are all saying, don't say that, don't.
And then there's the second voice that's like, no. All
right. Well, if it comes up, then we'll tell it.
I mean, I had one of the crazy stories, and I can kind of tell this one because I've started to tell it on stage. We were out in Amsterdam for the first time, and this was my first time in Europe. We're out in Amsterdam. We did the show. We had it. It was a blast. This really hot girl came out, who I met through a friend, actually, who'd spent some time there. I went back to her place, and while I was back at her place, well, actually, I tell the other half of this story on stage. You can come see me live if you want to hear the actual story. You get the second half of the story, because this part was really crazy. So I was back at her place. It's like 5:30 in the morning in Amsterdam, and I get called by the band's manager, by their tour manager, and by like two other people, and just like wake up to all of these missed calls and messages and everything. Like, you need to get the fuck back to the hotel. Where the fuck are you? Your band's about to get arrested. And I was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what's happening? I'm like, it's 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to be asleep no matter where I am. So I had to get in a taxi and get back to the hotel. I found out that one of the guys, two guys actually, neither of which were with us anymore, but they were trying to steal a bottle of alcohol from the bar that was closed, and were almost getting arrested.
Oh, they got caught.
Yeah, and then ran. And then I got called and yelled at. No, I think they left the bottle. And so, like, nothing ended up happening, but I got called on that. Probably one of the craziest stories was when we almost got arrested actually out here. We were out here for Cinco de Mayo. And we almost got arrested back at the hotel because we were very loud, and the hotel called the cops on us, and we actually got evicted from the hotel, which is I didn't know that was a thing. We got evicted. They found weed and all sorts of other stuff, and should have arrested us for 1 million accounts, but we're very nice. And I couldn't drive yet, and that was a van ride. That was like a van drive out from California to here. I couldn't drive, so I had to talk to the cops, still drunk. I'm like, I can't drive right now. I was expecting to be here for 8 more hours. I'm like, can I go park the van? I have someone else park the van in the like parking lot out here and stay here. And they let us do that. And then I woke up to the security guard who called the cops on us, yelling at one of our guys in the morning, and we just hopped in the van and left. And that's a much longer story too, but like, I'm not gonna get way into it.
Okay, so let's get into comedy. Where does all this start from? Now, we originally in the beginning of this episode, or towards the beginning, you talked about, you know, you were with this group of guys and you wrote cartoons and kind of sketches and whatnot. But stand-up, where does all that come into play?
So I've loved stand-up since I was a kid. I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me, and since I was like 5 years old, I've been watching stand-up on Comedy Central.
Do you remember the first one you ever saw?
I don't remember the first, but things like Dr. Katz, like that cartoon show and stuff sticks in my mind, and all of the comics around that.
Okay.
You know, pretty much everyone. Dom Herrera is one of the older comics I think I remember seeing first, and I like very much remember the special. And I got to see him at the Comedy Store recently and watched him kill it still. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, because one of the bits that for some reason sticks in my mind is him talking to people calling him on the phone and not knowing how to say his name, and he'd immediately know that it was just someone trying to sell him something and whatnot. Like, it's not even the best jokes, not even nearly one of his good jokes. You know, watch him now and you're like, oh, it was a crappy joke for him, but it stuck in my mind for some reason. So I've been watching it since I was a little kid. I was always able to watch R-rated stuff, this and that. I got very into it at a young age. In high school, it was when I moved. Yeah,
because I was too. Growing up, I was never
watch anything.
Yeah, I was never. What's the word?
Held back or
whatever it was. I was never. My parents let me watch whatever I wanted.
Right.
And I do that for my son too, to at least an extended point.
Right.
Where if it's something where he shouldn't see, at least explain it and be like, "This is what you're about to see. Do you want to?" And he makes up his mind. But I think that plays a big role into comedy. It was for sure for me.
Yeah.
Because I watched Eddie Murphy Delirious when I was 8.
Same.
And when I watched that, I was like,
I got it on a VHS.
I'm going to be a comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to be that comic. And because I was sheltered. That's the word I was looking for. I wasn't sheltered from anything. And I don't really do that for my son because I explain it to him. I'm a parent. I don't know, whatever I tell him. I explain shit to him.
That's good.
It is
weird, right? You talk to your kid?
Yeah, it's so weird. I try and teach him life lessons.
Try and teach my kid and shit. It's so fucked up.
But I think in comedy that plays a massive role because we have that jump on everybody that's like, oh, I didn't know that this existed until I was 20.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, we knew when we were kids.
Right.
And we were studying it up to this point, and that's why we are where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But continue where you're going. Because
yeah. I agree with you on that point completely. It and definitely has played in. But then when I started really working with comedy was the year I moved out to Arizona. And I started really writing, and because I was by myself more, and I met some people out here who we started doing video games first, like Flash games, and then we got quickly into Flash cartoons and filming stuff. And from there, I kept writing and writing more and more and drawing and doing everything.
When you say writing, what do you mean by writing? Like, what was not necessarily the process, but what were you doing?
I had a notebook on me at all times. Like, I always walked around with a spiral notebook and a pen, and any ideas that came to my head, it might be dialogue, it might be the idea for a character, it could be a sketch, it would just be whatever. I didn't really write in script format yet. I didn't know how that worked.
Okay.
I didn't know it or anything.
So whatever thought you had, you put it on paper.
But I'd be like, this guy goes and does this, then they say this thing. You know, I'd still kind of write out a script, but just no format. Or sometimes it would just be like a comic, pretty much. And sometimes it would be like, wouldn't it be funny if some dude could just come on command and that was his superpower. And, like, that would be the whole thing that was written in the notebook. You know, and there's, like, I have all of those notebooks still, and I can look back.
You have to.
There's, like, little pieces every once in a while I find, like, okay, Eric was stupid at 15, but he was on to something.
And I've told people this on the podcast before, but one thing that I learned a long time ago is when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do, and nobody has to take this, but it's part of the writing process and I guess comedy process, is before I even get up out of the bed to take a piss, I write a page of whatever I'm thinking about. So whether it could be the dream I had, whatever is in my head, I just write a page of all the thoughts I'm having. And then I go on and I do my morning, whatever. And then after I've woken up and I'm in the zone to kind of get back into comedy, whatever time that happens, usually like, 10, 11 o'clock, I'll go back 30 days. And you've had to build that much thing. So if you're just starting, go back a week.
Right.
But 30 days, I'll go back and I'll read what I wrote 30 days ago. And normally it's dog shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm a lunatic. I'm on anxiety medication for this reason. Like, I'm crazy. But eventually and occasionally I'll find something in it and I'll be like, okay, no, this is actually a funny. What I wrote beginning and end of it is horrible.
Right.
But here's something that I think I can make a bit out of. And so and I'll take that, and that's what I work on the rest of the day.
See, I wish I did that. I'll do the opposite, and I have a file called a folder called dailies, and I'll title it with whatever the date was. But dailies are usually written on the late side of the night once I'm really drunk, and just before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll just start typing until I like pass out.
Yes.
And it's a similar type of thing because it's there's nothing holding the mind back, whatever, and it's just type whatever is going on.
So here's the thing, too, is, first of all, I did that shit forever where I'd lay down in bed, and as a comic, you can't go to sleep because that's when your mind is like, okay, now I have nothing to think about or worry about.
Yeah.
So you're just running as if you're on stage. You're running a whole set through your head, and you're like, oh, that's so funny. I'll write it down in the morning, and you forget.
Yeah. Oh, it's never going to happen.
I don't like, I talk about, I write these things out and then I work on it and whatever, but I don't write jokes. I don't write my shit out. I write down ideas and then I go on stage and I work them over and over and over again until it gets to a point.
I generally do the same thing.
I can't write word for word. Or else I become an actor, and I don't want to do that. And a lot of people it works for that are comics.
Right.
It hampers my comedy.
It's definitely both ways.
Yeah. I know for me I can't do that. Because it comes out verbatim, and it's like, dude, this guy's just acting his act out. But I every time, dude, I go to bed, I laugh myself to sleep. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking hilarious. I'm killing right now. But every time, I'm like, I know, I remember that because it's what I'm thinking of right before I fall asleep. Fall asleep, wake up in the morning, I'm like, God damn, that was so funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All you ever remember is I had the best idea in the world.
And it'll come to me eventually, and it never does.
I know. But something else I've seen, if you get an idea, because I work with a lot of other people for writing and everything, for writing scripts and all the stuff I work on, which is what Tomorrow's Nobody has spawned into. And I found that if I have a conversation with someone, we will eventually have that same conversation again if something sparks it into the right spot. But like almost verbatim, we'll all be back in the conversation and be like, oh, I know what you're going to say next. I know what I'm going to say after that because I've been here before.
Yeah. Which is, so you have Tomorrow's, what was it?
Tomorrow's Nobody.
Tomorrow's Nobody. And I have Jokesters Union is what ours is called. And that's the same, it's the same exact thing. I mean, we script write. We do stand-up wise. We're all comics. We're all stand-up comics, and we do our own thing individually, but we run it by each other. But script, I mean, we all write scripts together and piece it together, and that's exactly it. Like normally when we talk, we're writing our shit down, but in conversation, when something happens, like, oh, it's gonna be so fucking funny, and it does happen where it's like, all right, let's get back. What were we saying?
Right. Well, because
and then it comes back to what you were thinking.
You all still have the same mind, so if you're having a conversation with multiple people, the hard part is with the thinking of something before you fall asleep and then trying to remember it in the morning is you have to have a conversation with just your own head, which will go in 9 million directions.
It'll never get you there.
If no one's focusing on a conversation.
Do you do like voice memo? Do you have a voice recorder on your phone?
I do, but I'm I'm bad about doing it. Like every once in a while I'll remember to, but then half of the time I'm still bad about listening to it.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
So
I
it's
never
like,
listen back.
I have so
Here's the
much
thing.
backup. It's like that's not helpful anyways.
I always voice record because I hate writing it down.
Yeah.
And I'll title the shit out of it. Where I'm like super explanatory.
Yeah.
This is what I talked about. Blah, blah, blah.
You
So I never
essentially
have
type
to
out
listen
the
back.
joke?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm a mess. Whatever. But come see me live. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Oh. Live is perfect.
So, all right. Let's get into, so your first time doing stand-up was Last Comic Standing, but how do you go from, you come from this background of music and then kind of sketch writing, script writing, and then you get into like, dude, I want to be a stand-up comic. How does that whole process kind of get to and where you're at now?
So
That's a prolonged question.
yeah, well, I think I can kind of go through it fairly quickly, but like I knew I wanted to do stand-up for a long time. We put out cartoons, we put out all this other stuff, and we were getting some success at it. Not like we were making a bunch of money or anything, but we had people watching, so it was fun.
It's not about money.
And exactly,
Yeah.
so it was fun, especially in high school and the end of it. But I realized very quickly that it was what I wanted to do. I loved comedy, I loved writing. I kind of went back and forth with the stage, and about 3 to 4 years ago, I was out in New York working with Sam Haft, one of my partners for writing, and he's a stand-up comic. He's been doing it about 6 years now, and I was like, I'm going to hit stand-up clubs. My buddy Tony Solano, who does all the cartoon stuff with me, he came out, and he did stand-up with me too. He was living in Baltimore at the time. I went out there, and I was out there for 2 weeks, and I did stand-up almost every night, hitting any open mic I could, and it was great. I came back to California. I still didn't know what to do out there. I went straight to the Comedy Store and I did potluck because I was like, oh, the Comedy Store, that's the place I need to go if I want to do stand-up, right? That's where everyone is. And I went there. I actually got picked on potluck. I went up, had a terrible set to 2 old ladies that were sitting in the front and no one else. And then I lived like an hour or so away from LA, so I wasn't hitting LA enough and then touring. So it kind of fell out of it again. And every once in a while, maybe once every 4 to 6 months over the last 4 years, I'd hit like an open mic with a friend. And that'd be about it. And then I found out about Anchor Bar in Costa Mesa, which was like 20 minutes from me. And my buddy got me on that open mic, which there's a ton of comics who come through. And actually an audience too, which is pretty awesome. And I went and did that, and since then, which was in February, I haven't missed a week. Like, I kept telling myself, you're going to do it. When you do it, you have to just keep doing it, because I know that. I've heard it from everyone. And so finally, I was like, stop waiting, just go. And I realized very quickly that I very much needed that outlet.
Yeah. Like, and you say as an outlet for comedy or an outlet just in life in general?
Well, I mean, I guess both. Like, it's definitely both, but it's an outlet for comedy I very much needed because I've worked in a very group mind with writing and all that sort of stuff and creating shows. And none of that stuff is immediate or anything, and I very much needed to be able to do something that was just me, be able to get on stage, not be able to worry about anyone else. I am in charge of everything. And I get an immediate response of, is that funny? Mm-hmm. No. What about this? What about that? If they don't like it, cool, I'll try again. You know, like, yeah. I have too much stuff that I've written over the last 15 years of writing where it's like, I've never done anything with 90% of this. I can't keep doing that.
So 15 years of writing, are you anywhere near hitting that to fulfill it? Does that make sense?
Hitting, like, to be able to be, good at stand-up or
no,
whatever?
No, to fulfill the 15 years of writing where you're doing stand-up and you're like, am I fulfilling what I've done for the last 15 years of writing? Not
quite. I feel like I'm definitely not hitting at a beginner, and no one ever knows how long I've been doing it. When I tell them, they're usually surprised. Mm-hmm. So that I have on my side. I'm also a fast learner. That's a lucky thing, and it's a talent I know I have. is that I can learn things quicker than most people.
Stage presence
and
is,
it's I am aware of. But stage presence takes time.
It does take time, but you have it. And I think
Thank
a
you.
lot of natural comics have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can tell already where it's like, yeah, your material is not there. Your material, jeez, I'm an idiot. Your material isn't there, but you look comfortable on stage. It's stage presence. So you're when I see that, and again, I say this all the time. I'm not the end all be all, but when I see that, I see that all right, you're at least meant to do this, and you'll figure out the rest of it. You know what I mean?
I hope so, and yeah, I agree, and I know that I'm not nearly there and need to keep going, but I know that I'm past some of the other parts I see of it and whatnot, and like I'm progressing. I can tell that, and I don't know. I work really hard at it, and I very much watch other comics and watch every single thing they do. I just went after the show at Stand Up Scottsdale last night. I went over with Baez and we went to Anwar. We went to Hannibal and watched that show, and I stood in the back and just watched every move he made and the way he said it. You don't listen to
what they say.
I listen to everything.
You do?
I mean, every single word, the way, the timing of all of it,
the cadence,
the
act out,
the way he holds the mic.
Yeah,
that's something I learned. I know the way that all of the professional comedians hold their microphone.
How?
They hold it right towards the bottom. And most people don't know. Most people don't look at that. I look at where the lights are, and I make sure when I go stand on that stage, people can see my face.
Yep, I do that too.
So I do things,
because if you don't, it takes away. It doesn't matter what you say.
Right.
You're dark.
And you think it's stupid thing. You're like, that doesn't matter if it's like it all matters.
Yeah.
It's all part of it. It's entertainment. It's the same thing. Like you can tell me a boy band would be super popular with a bunch of ugly dudes, but that's not true. Or if they dress different, like there's a lot of pieces to it. So I figure out the pieces that I can take care of and continue to build my strength on the rest. You know,
dude, it's awesome. So where do you want to be? This is a stupid question, I guess, because first of all, your day job, quote unquote, is awesome.
Yeah,
and so many people in this world want to do your day job.
Yeah, I have people who are like, "Why are you still doing other stuff?"
but why? So
because I love it. I could not ever exist without comedy and writing. Like, I've been a writer since I was a little kid. I go and look back at stuff I did. It's the only reason I got through school was because I could competently write. I wasn't very good at other stuff, but I could kind of write my way out of a hole.
I always say this to people, like, when they take public speaking or if they have to do a speech for a class, you know, whatever. I was like, you can talk your way into an A or a B. You can at least talk your way into it. And when you're writing a paper, you can write your way into an A or
Definitely.
a B. When it's a test, there's right or wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You either know it or you don't.
Right.
That's terrifying for me.
Yeah. For that, I got really good at cheating. That's the best thing I could do.
But at that, I guess us as comics, we thrive in those situations. I can bullshit anything into an A or a B. Yeah. I don't have to know anything about it. I'll bullshit the shit out of you until you believe me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I wrote junior year, everyone has to do the persuasive essay thing. I wrote mine on saying we never landed on the moon. And I got the highest grade in the class.
Yeah.
And it was like, do you actually believe that? I was like, I don't care. I was like, to be honest, I don't care at all. I read so much bullshit. It doesn't matter.
Way better than Eric's freshman year paper, which was the Holocaust never happened.
I like just saying shit didn't happen. Just going against popular belief.
Totally.
I was like, I just kind of want to see if I can make the entire class believe that the moon landing didn't happen. Because why not? And
highest grade.
98%.
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Ultimately, I guess I have two questions, and then we'll wrap up. One is, what's one thing you want to do before you die that you haven't done yet?
Ooh. I want to do a stand-up show to a much bigger audience. I guess I should have a spot set in my mind, but I want to take a big stage. I've been around them for music, and I've seen what a crowd of
What's the biggest?
80,000 is the biggest crowd I've seen.
Holy
and it
shit.
just is a sea of people. It was in Brazil, SWU Fest, and it's just a sea of people going back. And I want to at least do a show that is big enough where I can have the laughter where it just is this whole other sound. It sounds like just a sea of people.
Okay, I have a third question.
Because I haven't experienced it.
What's the best city or country you've ever been to? Because you say Brazil, to me, that's the ultimate.
Brazil's cool. Brazil's scary.
It is?
A lot of places. I've walked around it fucked up and shouldn't be walking around at night by myself, but I've done it. We always have, like, extra security when we go there. We have a dude who comes out who has a gun on him at all times. Like,
Special
it's
forces
not,
just hanging
it's
out.
not a good spot to be. But, pieces of it are fine. I liked Amsterdam a lot. That was a lot of fun. We had a whole day off there and really had a blast walking around.
Enjoy yourself and see what it is.
The Netherlands in general, we've been to a few spots in the Netherlands. It's really nice out there. People are cool. They've got all the coffee shops where you can go smoke weed. I think we might have killed an old man once, or maybe he was a ghost. People in Europe smoke spliffs most of the time. We went in and rolled up like 6 huge bats, and there was this old dude next to us just staring at us roll these of just all weed bats, and then we put hash lined in them because we're gonna go smoke, and he was like eyeing them, and one of our guys like, you wanna take a hit? And he's like, he just shook his head. He didn't say one word to us the entire time. He just shook his head yes. So we handed it to him. We let him smoke, and we're all talking, hanging out, and then we look over, and he's just not there anymore. I don't know what happened to him, but he's just gone. Like, I didn't see him leave. I think he just turned to dust, or he floated away or something, but it like blew his mind. He couldn't hang anymore.
What's the worst place you ever been to?
Ooh, the worst place.
Mine is Tucson.
That's close on my list, actually, too. Oh, man, somewhere in the South. I actually got new respect for Alabama the last time I was there. We were in Mobile, Alabama, and that was actually pretty nice.
Yeah?
The time before that I was in Alabama, I really didn't like wherever we were. I don't know, probably somewhere in like Ohio or something.
Just boring.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't. Kansas isn't very cool either. I'm not a big fan of Kansas. Most of the middle of the country I can do without. Not like.
I think
it all kind of blends together. Yeah,
they're like, yeah, we could too.
There's cool people all over. You meet awesome people everywhere. You meet shitty people everywhere.
Yeah.
But most of those places they're just boring.
Yeah, there's not a lot to do.
There's just nothing happening. I mean, there's a reason people move from those places to the coasts if they have dreams.
True.
Or they have good dreams and not like nightmares.
They're not farmers.
Yeah, right. Oh, and all the respect for all the farmers. Keep making food for me to eat, please.
Please do.
Without the people who do like real jobs, I'd be screwed. Like,
cut the E. coli out so I can go back to Chipotle.
Yeah. Like, what would we do if we were in just the beginning of times where it was just like make food, have family, survive? I'd be so bored and screwed.
Everyone.
Like that, I wouldn't have nothing I could give to society in that.
No, there's a funny guy up the road.
Yeah.
If you guys are bored
really
enough,
bored.
He stands on these haystacks and does these horrible, weird cow jokes.
Yells things at us. Yeah. Talks about having sex with goats and shit. I don't know.
I think they're true stories. You should check that shit out.
Oh, that would be so. I'm so glad I don't live in that time.
No.
I have always said, because I've been asked, like, if you could be anything, what would you be, this or that? Like, if I lived in a different times, I feel like I would have been more with someone like Socrates or someone like that. Not that I'm that profound, but I feel like I would enjoy that sort of speech and that sort of thinking. I would have just liked to hang out with him, basically.
I'm too dumb to even be like, they would kill me.
Oh,
I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what word is fuck?
No, you could talk yourself out of it. You'd be good.
What, so last question, man, and then we'll wrap.
That's good, because
what?
Almost gone.
What, in comedy-wise, and you talked about, the one thing you want to do before you die is perform for this huge, incredible crowd. But comedy-wise, your greatest goal in comedy to where you could be like, all right, I made it in comedy. I've hit this goal.
I've read and listened to enough interviews and whatnot from people that I admire and love that I know I will never be happy. And I've accepted it. And I've just completely accepted it. It doesn't suck at all. It's actually the best thing and most freeing thing in the world.
It is. I agree with you a little, because you never accept that point.
So, I mean,
you want to keep
like,
getting better.
I'm not miserable. I'm going to keep getting better, and I'm going to get as good as I can until I'm dead. And how is that a happy moment? Like, the end is death. I'm going to die at the end, and hopefully I've gotten really good by then. But if I haven't, it doesn't matter.
I'm cool with that. That's badass. I'm cool with that. Eric, man, again, shout out.
Pleasure.
Everything.
Oh, Eric J. Freedman for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my website. You'll find me on all of them. I'll be back in California performing soon. Find me out on the road hopefully soon. Whenever Sublime's on the road, if they have a day off, I am performing in that city.
So fucking follow them. Eric's hilarious, man. This is my favorite episode of all time. Thank you for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me, man. This is a blast.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. And everybody see Eric
have
everywhere.
Fun. Yes.
This has been another proud production of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You want to see more shows, go check out www.foureyedradio.com, you winkers.